In a public amusement park in the city of Vienna stands the largest wheel in the world. People there call it the Riesenrad. We say Ferris wheel. Rebuilt since 1945 when it was shelled by artillery, it rises 208 feet above the park. Each car is as big as a bungalow. Capacity, 25 people. But in a way, this wheel symbolizes the country in which it stands, today's Austria. Another symbol, the friendly greeting of the customs guard at the border. His attitude is that of a cordial host, happy to receive you as a guest in his country. And for the first time in many years, visitors are welcome to come and go as they please. The new Republic of Austria is barred to no one. Western Austria, in ancient times, a wild, unknown country. The Romans were masters here for more than 400 years, and Innsbruck was their base of operations. Then came the Goths, the Franks, the Huns. And finally, in the Middle Ages, Innsbruck and all Austria came under the rule of the House of Habsburg. From this balcony 4 centuries ago, Emperor Maximilian the Great watched strolling players perform in the square below. From Innsbruck begins an ascent into alpine skies, almost 8,000 feet by cable car. A century and a half ago, Napoleon Bonaparte invaded these same mountains 3 times. Each time he was beaten back by a guerrilla army of untrained peasants led by Andreas Hofer, a Tyrolean innkeeper. These were mountain men, and to them their rocky crags were a citadel of... Today you can have your coffee halfway up a peaceful mountainside and never dream these slow and red with blood. For the wheel of history turns, and again this Tyrol country in the Austrian Alps is a beautiful vacation land. In winter, one of the world's great ski countries. In the summertime, a playground for hikers and dry rock climbers. Earthbound again, over one of the most dramatic mountain roads anywhere, the famous Großglockner Alpine Highway. The route winds its way upward, and soon you are on a granite roadbed hewn from solid living rock. Now you are on your way to glacier country. And there it is, that gray and menacing mass of ice far below, wider than the Mississippi River, the Pastertzane Glacier, the oldest and largest in Europe. Over it, once again, from the observation platform, flies the red and white flag of the Republic of Austria. The road to Salzburg, a queen of a city whose heritage goes back to medieval times, symbolized by this great castle, once the stronghold of a feudal baron. But today, this is a city of music, home of the world-famous Salzburg Summer Music Festival. A memorial to her greatest son, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, born here in 1756. In the United States, in England, in France, and almost anywhere in the world, you may have seen Professor Hermann Eicher's famous Salzburg marionettes on tour. Here they are at home in a very special behind-the-scenes performance for an audience of Salzburger Kinder, the local name for small fry. In the long-distant past, this corner of Middle Europa was the crossroads of nations and nationalities. Italian, Gothic, Byzantine, Teutonic. They have come and gone, and each has left its mark in the styles of architecture you see in the villages and cities of the region. For the most part, the tempo of life is calm and unhurried, always satisfying but seldom exciting. Still, if you want a change of pace, if you crave speed and thrills and danger too, you can have it, as you'll soon see when these fault boats take to the water. And here, if your eyes don't deceive you, comes a man among men. Willy der Wasserganger, Willy the Water Walker. It takes skill and strength and courage to guide these tiny craft down the swift current. And as for Willy, here he comes now. Conventional canoeists contemplate this cool and crazy human catamaran with consternation. But Willy maintains his aquatic equilibrium with aplomb. Oops. But a good man never stays down, and Willy's on his Wasserskis again as the whole flotilla takes off down the River Steyr. Sluice gates and mill race rapids mark the water obstacle course. Shooting these chutes in a frail fault boat takes plenty of pluck. Stay with it, Willy. A fool, mein Herren. Oops again. They're into the home stretch with Willy out of the race. For him, a low bridge like this would mean a real headache. So to the finish, and every entry's a winner with a precious prize of sport and skill in the sunlit spray. Southeast from Steyr to the Wolfgangsee and the tiny village of St. Gilgen. Here, the word native means all the sights and sounds of picturesque peoples and places, like this brass band, for instance, on its way to the celebration of a peasant wedding. This is no ordinary country marriage, for it is late summer, and in St. Gilgen it is the custom to choose one peasant couple and shower them with the money and gifts for the grandest of weddings. On this day of days, the festivities start with dancing, the Schulplattler, by best friends of the bashful bridegroom. This is the river city of Linz on the Danube. Here, until recently, a barricaded bridge cut Austria in half. The Russian zone on the east, the American zone on the west. Then there were military guards on duty here 24 hours a day. Now, by peaceful treaty, the river is Austrian again. And once more, the little excursion boats can ride the blue Danube for its full length across the country. Danube, river of destiny, highway over which the long parade of human events move east and west, bearing the triumphs and tragedies of many different peoples. Today, this most famous of European rivers is a main thoroughfare of traffic. But there is history all about you. 15 centuries ago, Attila the Hun ravaged these shores. Knights in armor fought bloody battles within sight of this river. Dürstein Castle, where King Richard the Lionhearted of England was held prisoner on his return from the Crusade. This, then, is the Danube, river of romance, legend, and song. And so you come to Vienna, whose citizens are not only Austrians, but Viennese. A battleground of World War II, the city has cleared the debris, and the reconstruction is almost complete. The Cathedral of St. Stephen, consecrated in 1147, a symbol of durability through the turmoil of the centuries. The ghosts of old heroes and the haunting memory of Empress Maria Theresa are part of the nostalgic, unforgotten legends of the 18th and 19th centuries. The Hofburg, built in 1275 as the winter palace of the emperor. These magnificent buildings have long since outlived their original purpose. Today, in an era to which they never belonged, they are state property, open to visitors from all over the world. Schönbrunn Palace, summer residence of the imperial family, has always been one of the special showplaces of modern Vienna. The Empress Maria Theresa spent the larger part of her life here at Schönbrunn. One of them, Marie Antoinette of France. Here, the 6-year-old Mozart performed on the harpsichord. Napoleon slept at Schönbrunn, and his young died here in 1832. The Emperor Franz Joseph was born here in 1830, and here he died in 1916. And here, by treaty in 1918, end came to the Austrian Empire. But Vienna isn't only history. It's good food, good beer, good song. In this old Rathskeller, one of the world's most familiar tunes was written. Its name, Dr. Lieber Augustine, of course. Behind that window, Mozart composed symphonies. Brahms lived here and called Vienna the musician's holy city. On a Viennese side street, a strange memorial to Franz Schubert. 3 sisters shared this house. Schubert was in love with all 3 at once and wrote that chant, The Three Maidens, to all of them. Schubert was a native son. He died here at the age of 31. Ludwig von Beethoven, the master, one of the rare men in world history who was a legend in his own time. But when you think of Viennese music, only one nostalgic name comes to mind. All these, then, are Austria, the waltz, the swift-running rivers, the charm gaiety of simple folkways. Today, once again, a land where politics take a back seat to laughter and music, where a happy people enjoy a tranquil existence amidst of natural beauty and grandeur unmatched anywhere else on earth. The wheel has turned full circle into the light and warmth of the gute alte Zeiten, the good old days. And Austria is Austria once more.